go ahead, make our way down to the mat if you're not there already. Finding a comfortable, easy seated position. Maybe that equals crisscross applesauce. Last week we talked that if this shape is not easy for you to arrive in, if it's causing you lots of pain or discomfort in the hips or the knees, or it's causing you to round through the spine, not allowing you to sit up nice and tall, we can bring the legs out in front, bend the knees, place the feet flat on the ground, and maybe even support the spine by bringing the hands underneath the thighs, underneath the knees, lifting yourself up here. The concept or the idea that we're looking for here, the shape, is to create a long line within the spine. Imagining it as a hollow tube, almost like a straw or a hose. You're trying to take out every kink, every bend, giving yourself a moment here to close the eyes. So yesterday in Western New York, we had a beautiful first snowfall. It was one of those snowfalls where nothing's sticking to the ground just yet, but these beautiful big flaky snows, flakes were falling. It's just absolutely beautiful. And it reminded me of an analogy that we've often talked about in class together. Imagining that you're walking up to your shelf. Use this imagination, close your eyes. Walking up to your fireplace, your shelf. And maybe you have a favorite snow globe, maybe you don't. Maybe the imagination helps us here. And you grab that snow globe off the shelf. And you shake it up. And you place it back down. And you sit and watch as all the snowflakes slowly start to drop down, settling in to the exact place they're meant to be, and noticing how our body, our energy, our being is very similar to that snow globe, just allowing for all the dust, all the snowflakes to settle, letting go of whatever your week has looked like. Maybe you're preparing for the holiday season. You feel the rush to get everything done. Maybe you're finally getting together with your family once again, and it's producing a little bit of anxiety. Maybe your week was fantastic, and this is just the icing on the cake. But whatever it is, let it have been. Let it go. Let yourself be here. Taking a moment now to just start to come into the physical body, noticing if the shoulders are rounding forward, finding the center of the crown of the head, and imagine you have that string lifting you up to the sky, bringing space into the spine, feeling the torso elongate here. And actively, if you're sitting in a crisscross position here, thinking about drawing the knees down to the ground, grounding deeply into the earth through the sits bones, the legs, yet feeling that rooted sensation in the lower body that allows you to take that next big inhale and get big in the upper body. Bringing the breath in like a wave, taking the inhale, letting it come across the front side of the body, lifting the chest, lifting the heart, coming across the crown of the head, and as we exhale, it comes across the head, down the back, and it begins to start grounding the backside body. Shoulder blades squeeze in together, continuing this wave of breath, maybe recognizing how it calms the mind already, and just remembering that you have this tool of your breath to bring with you whenever you're feeling disconnected from your practice, disconnected from your body, and or the everyday monkey brain of thoughts turns back on. Simply close your eyes, tune back into your breath, and then bring yourself back into focusing on your alignment, allowing us to steady the mind and allow ourselves to become more present. Keeping the lower body rooted into the earth, let's go ahead and find breath with movement with our arms. As we inhale, arms reach up to the sky. Feel the length in the side body. Maybe you look up to your fingertips. Keep the knees to the ground. As you exhale, flutter the fingertips back down to the ground. Keep the arms nice and active. Inhale, breath, lift all the way up. Exhale, let it all go. One into the earth. As we inhale, we lift the arms once again. This time, go ahead and bend into that right elbow. Might look like my left here, so either way is fine. Bend the elbow, place the palm on the back, and then go ahead and bend the other one, kind of making like a crisscross or a little capture here for your head in your neck. Once you get into this position, it might feel a little tight in your shoulders. It's okay. Try not to draw any tension into the neck, but actively push the elbows back. Feel this expansion through your chest as you open up. Let your head fall back into your arms. Let your elbows open up. Full body experience here. Knees pressing into the ground, navel to the spine. Take a big inhale, lift through the center of the crown. And as you exhale, just slowly start to bend the body to the right. And if it doesn't compromise your neck here, maybe you look past the left shoulder up to the sky. If that produces any pain in the neck, keep the head in a neutral position, pressing that left leg into the ground, really coming in to that side body. Use your breath in your core as you inhale, come all the way back up through center. Inhale, breath, reach the arms back up to the sky and swap out your arms. Bending opposite elbow this time first, bringing the next to follow in. Chin can start tucked to the chest. Find an inhale breath to lift the head, press it back into the arms. Press the elbows back. You're likely going to feel your upper back turn on here once again. Shoulders might be a little tight. You might have your elbows a little close. It's okay. With each breath, see if maybe you can go a little bit deeper. Inhale, lengthen that torso. Exhale, take the body to the opposite side. Being mindful here not to round forward. We're still staying open. So pressing right elbow out as we come to the side. Right knee to the earth. Look past the right elbow. Smile. Inhale, come all the way back up to center. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. As you exhale, rain the fingertips all the way down. Nice work. We're going to go ahead and take our right leg out to the side. Again, if it's mirroring and it's better for you to follow what you see, we're going to do both sides. So taking the leg out to the side, keeping the left knee bent, drawing the foot as close into the body as you can, but don't sit on your foot. Flex the right foot back to your face. Feel the activation within that leg. Kneecap lifts. Our right arm is going to come inside the right leg, and we're going to press the arm into the leg to help draw the left shoulder back. Inhale, breath reaches the left arm overhead, chest stays forward as we think about reaching our fingers to touch our toes. Inhale, breath, reach out here, really opening up this rib cage. Feel the length in the side body. Keep that right leg nice and active. Beautiful work. As we inhale, we come all the way back up. Fingertips will kiss overhead, and as we exhale, we're going to turn over that bent left leg. Plant your hands to the ground and see if you can bring both handprints to the earth. Now, if you have to collapse into that right hand, I'd rather you stay up on the right fingers. Maybe left palm is only touching the ground. Coming into a little bit of a twist into your mid-back. Keeping your right leg active and on, foot stays flexed. You might get to play around with a little depth here. Looking past that left shoulder, sinking in by bending the elbows, but keeping the chest lifted, slowly bringing yourself down a little bit more. Left hand is going to stay planted onto the earth. As we inhale, take a big breath, sweep the right arm overhead, and if you can, lift the hips, come onto that left knee, create this beautiful straight line from your right foot all the way out through your fingertips. Press the hips forward. Glutes might turn on just a little bit here. Exhale, breath, the hips lower. We're cartwheeling the hands to come all the way across. Frame out that right leg. Tented fingerprints. Inhale, lift up through the chest. Exhale, bend the elbows. Lead with your heart. Walk down the right leg. At the last moment, tuck chin to chest. Start to feel that lower back open up. Remembering that connection of our chin to the chest and the lower back opening up. Take your time as you inhale, walk up that right leg, stack the spine, head over heart at the last moment. Go ahead and swap out the legs. We'll bring right leg in. Take the left leg out to the side, or opposite leg. Draw your bent foot in, your bent knee foot in. Flex that left foot. Activate through the leg. Left arm comes inside that left leg to press open the right shoulder, helping us to open up through the chest here. Inhale, breath will reach the right arm overhead, and as you exhale, you start to bend in. Now you don't need to go very far into this bend to start feeling the expansion in the side body. Once again, breathe and sink in with your breath, finding depth with the exhale, finding length through the inhale, settling in, surrender. Inhale brings us all the way back up to the top. As you exhale, cartwheel the hands over that right leg. Plant the palms to the ground. Once again, if you can't get that outside palm to touch in without rounding the back, stay a little lifted and just slowly start to look past that right shoulder. Be mindful of this left leg starting to turn in the more we start to look into the shoulder. Keep it nice and active, full body awareness. Stay connected. Beautiful work. Right hand is going to stay planted onto the ground. As we inhale, that left arm comes up to the sky. We come up off the hips, reach overhead. Wonderful job. Exhale, lower back down. Maybe come forward to go over as you cartwheel the frame left leg. Inhale, lengthen the spine, lift up through the upper back. Exhale, lead with your heart. Walk down that leg. Come in to your stretch. Take one more big inhale to lengthen. Exhale, tuck the chin to the chest. Keep pressing that right bent knee into the ground. Starting to feel the low back open up. Maybe the side obliques here opening up as well. Tuck your chin to your chest and surrender. So a lot of times we just want to fall into this pose, get our head to touch the knee. Just like with anything, the more you have to force it, the harder it's going to be. The idea here is to just meet your body where it is. Bring your breath with you and just notice how as we surrender and trust, we can find that depth that we're looking for. Nice work. Walking yourself up with your inhale, one vertebrae at a time, stacking all the way up till head stacks over the heart. Taking a nice wide-legged position here. It doesn't matter how wide your straddle is. It's not a competition. Flex your feet and come into the first shape that you feel your body is at for today. Then bring one hand in front, one hand behind you, and see if maybe you can just scooch a millimeter forward for me. Generally, we can go a little bit further than that first shape we open up into. Toes are actively flexing back towards our face, pressing through the heels. Feel the kneecaps lift the quads, and already guaranteed you're feeling the stretch in the underside of the legs. With that being said, when we fold forward, you might not need to go very far to get a deeper stretch. Slowly start to walk the hands out in front of you, and this may be as far as we go today. I want you to keep the integrity in your legs more so than the depth of your upper body going forward. If your legs start to roll forward, they start caving in, you'll feel that in your hips. It's not good. So keep this external rotation in the legs, thinking about, if anything, your toes pointing behind you instead of forward. From here, we can slowly explore what it looks like to walk the handprints forward, always leading with the heart, leading with your chest first, not rounding the back. We're lengthening out here. Now this is probably one of the first ones you're coming into that the body's going to start speaking to you, possibly loud. Don't be worried. This is not a signal to abort mission. Do not think that this is bad. This is all part of the game. You might even be showing up in this position. Maybe you normally can lay flat, and today you're a little bit tighter. It's totally okay. Meet your body where you are and just enjoy the fact that you're here. Nice work. Slowly walking yourself all the way back up, and then help your legs close here just like it's a book, bringing them back into center. Take a second just to bend the knees, shake them out here a little bit, and then we'll meet together in all fours. Bringing yourself to stack shoulders over wrist, knees directly underneath the hip points. Yogi's choice here for toes tucked under to stretch the bottoms of your feet. If you spend a lot of time in high heels or dress shoes, it might feel nice to stretch out the arches of the feet a little bit. If not, tops of the feet plant into the earth for support. Just take a second here and rock the hips side to side. Should feel really nice after that wide-legged straddle. If for any reason you have lost the connection to your breath or to this moment, use this time to come back. Open up your handprints as wide as you can here. So one of the things I hope to encourage you in your practice is to really focus on the details. How wide can we get our fingers? Can you actively press your fingerprints into the mat, starting to get more stability in your wrist? Not just for your yoga practice, but if you're into any other type of fitness, any lifting, this is going to help you in all areas of your fitness to have this wrist mobility and also stability by using the handprint as well. Coming back into neutral spine, let's go into our cat-cow here. Sync breath to movement. Inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the belly, look up to the sky. As you exhale, start with the tailbone, round through one vertebra at a time. Lift that upper back, separate your shoulder blades, tuck your chin to your chest. Inhale, breath, lift through the tailbone, drop through the belly, lift up through the sky, pressing into the tops of the feet if they're down. Now go ahead and take the wheel here with your breath, listening, flowing. I've said it before, I'll say it 100 times, probably more. If there's anything you should be doing every single day, it's cat-cow. If you don't have the time for a full flow, a full sequence, a full workout, keep your spine mobile. It's quite literally your life force, and keeping the movement of the energy of the physical body is imperative to your longevity in your health. Taking one more full breath cycle, by no means does that mean to rush you. Taking it as long as you can, letting go of all that stale energy on the exhale, releasing it all out as you press, coming back into a neutral spine. Nice work. We're going to go ahead, keep the legs wide. You're going to push back into a child's pose variation. So legs are still parallel. We're kind of sinking into our hips a little bit here. Welcome to bring a block if hips don't meet our heels. And you'll see me kind of moving around, right? So if I come into this shape and it doesn't feel really awesome in my hip flexors, I'm going to come forward, I'm going to shake it out a little bit, and then I'm going to reset myself back with my exhale, melting the lower body. Then I'll walk my handprints out, let the head come down to the mat, let that center of the forehead touch the earth if it can. Feel free to prop up the earth so that the head can really just ground in. And if you don't have another prop, we can come into those two fists, making sure that the head has something to rest onto so that there's no tension in the neck as you kind of settle in right here. Finding a movement with our breath here, we're going to inhale. I want you to think cat spine. So handprints walk back out, open up those hands nice and wide, embrace into the fingerprints. As you inhale, the upper back is going to round like you're taking cat pose. And as you come forward, you exhale, release down into your cobra. Lift your chest through your arms, look up to the sky. Tuck your toes underneath you as you inhale, lift your hips up high. Exhale, downward facing dog. You're welcome to take this first down dog a little bit longer, pedaling it out. We're going to move into more of a one breath movement flow with what we're kind of introducing right now. But for this first down dog, pedal it out. Think about drawing your navel back to your spine, lifting your hips nice and high as you press your heart back to your thighs. Now obviously I'm kind of looking at you guys, but ideally here, keep your head in between your arms, let your ears kind of be framed by your biceps. Now as we inhale, we're going to come onto the tippy toes. As you exhale, start to bend the knees with control. Engage the core. Lower yourself down. coming back in to that child's pose, but toes are tucked underneath you. As we inhale, we round the spine, slowly come forward, release the tops of the feet to the earth, pull the chest through. Maybe start to bend the elbows, make sure shoulders are not kissing your ears. Tuck the toes underneath you as you inhale, lift your hips high. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, come onto the toes. Exhale, lower with control. Push back. Let's try to find our breath here now. Inhale takes us forward. Exhale, drop the hips. Tuck the toes. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, press back. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower with control. Let's try it one more time. Inhale, round forward, pull the heart through, find your cobra, lift up, tuck your toes, inhale, hips high, exhale, push back. Inhale, come to the tippy toes, exhale, lower to the knees with control. Release the tops of the feet to the earth this time, keep the knees wide, and bring your two big toes together to touch as you pull back, extended child's pose. Catch your breath. If that brought your heart rate up just a little bit, inhale through the nose, release the exhale breath out through the mouth. Inhale, round that upper back, start to roll forward, open the legs, tuck the toes, lift the hips, take down dog. Coming into your down dog, once again, take a nice wide stance. Handprints are nice and firmly planted into the ground. Press the heart back. We're thinking about internally rotating our legs to keep our knees pointing forward, activate your inner thighs, and then externally rotate, or almost think like you're corkscrewing your arms with your handprints, with your upper body to help get your heart a little closer to your thighs. Now on an inhale, raise the right leg all the way up to the sky. As you exhale, look forward, step your right foot in between your hands, help it get there. Drop the left knee down to the ground. Make sure the legs are hip distance apart. Activate your core, inner thigh strength for support as you inhale, come on up, low lunge. Nice work. Inhale, breath, reach up. Exhale, bend the elbows. Once again, just like we did in our seated position, bring them behind your back, crisscross the handprints, and inhale, look up to the sky. So, little mini back bend here. You might feel a little wobbly, that's totally okay. Squeeze the inner thighs together for support. Keep that front knee stacked over your front ankle. Bend the elbows, create that hammock-like feeling for the head. Press back. Inhale, breath, reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, reach both handprints forward. Now I want you to think about drawing a bow and arrow. So our right hand, or the hand that's with your bent knee, is going to pull the arrow back, coming across the left arm, coming across the chest, and reaching behind you. Now hug that right hip into center. Once again, inner thighs is going to help you support yourself. Start to open up. You might not be able to get that back arm straight just yet. Just slowly with your breath, start to open up that shoulder. Now you can stay here, or maybe on an inhale, start to drop your back hand, find your left thigh, and reach the right arm up to the sky. Press into the top of your left foot. Yes, you can. Exhale, breath is going to cartwheel the hands all the way back to the ground. Frame out that front leg. Walk the front leg forward as you straighten it out. Pull your hips back. Flex your toes back to your face, just like in our seated position. Draw the belly in. Create a straight line in your spine from the tailbone to the crown. Inhale, lengthen through the upper body. Exhale, pull the hips back. Feel that stretch in the back of your leg. Nice job. Walk the hands forward. We're going to step that foot so the knee stacks back over the ankle. Plant your hands. Tuck the left toes. Lift the leg. Step back. High plank position. Inhale, breath, shift the weight forward. Yogi's choice on the exhale, all the way to the belly or halfway chaturanga. Release the tops of the feet to the earth as you inhale. Take cobra if you're all the way down or thighs are off the earth for upward facing dog. Tuck your toes underneath you as you inhale, lift your hips high. Exhale, downward facing dog. Nice job. Let's go ahead and just reset for the next side. So take a nice wide stance for me. Bring your pinky toes to the edges of your mat. As you inhale, come up onto your tippy toes. Inhale through your nose. And as you exhale, open the mouth, sigh it out, press the heels to the ground. Release. Let's try that one more time. Inhale through the nose, take a nice deep cleansing breath. Exhale, open your mouth, get loud, you're at home, no one can hear you. Let it go. Fantastic. Walk your feet a little bit closer and together, about hip distance apart, so that we can sink the right heel. Inhale, lift the left leg all the way up to the sky. Exhale, look to your hands, step the left foot in front of you, drop the right knee to the earth. Find the stability of your legs as you inhale, come on up, sink in. So that's the beauty of a home practice. You're in your own space, get loud, have fun, explore. As we exhale, we bend the elbows here, maybe opposite elbows bend, head falls back in, press your hips a little forward, come into a little mini back bend. Inhale, bring that tailbone back under the spine, reach the arms up, exhale, prayer position. Inhale, send that energy forward. Exhale, draw your bow and arrow back. Reach left arm behind you, hug left hip into center, squeeze the inner thighs for support. Stay right here, opening up, expanding through the chest, or maybe inhale, drop the left arm, lift the right up to the sky. This is a little bit harder than it looks, so if you're shaking and wobbling all over the place, it's all good. Reach all the way up. On an exhale, cartwheel the handprints down to the ground. Walk the left foot out just a little bit. Come into half splits. Flex the left toes back to the face. This side feels a little bit tighter to me. If it does for you, just know that that's okay. Each side of our body is going to require a little bit different of attention. So it allows us to stay present, make sure we're not finding that autopilot, robotic, what should be mentality, and being here for all the sensations. Nice work. Slowly walking that foot back underneath the knee. We're going to tuck the toe, plant our hands onto the ground, lift that leg up, send it back, plank. And if any time you want to skip a vinyasa, take down dog or child's pose, go ahead. If not, join me as we inhale, we shift the body weight forward. Feel that in your wrists. Exhale, bend the elbows, hug the side body, release the tops of the feet. Inhale, use that strength. Yes, you can. Lift up. Tuck the toes. On the inhale, we lift the hips nice and high. On the exhale, we let it go. Walk the feet out as wide as we can. This time we're going to bring our left hand to the center of the mat, and you're going to swim your right hand across the mat. Grab onto your thigh, your knee, your shin, your calf, your foot, and think about on the exhale, pulling yourself to look through the triangle created by left arm and left leg. Twist out the spine. Release that, bring right hand to replace the left. Inhale, sweep the left hand across the mat. Hold on to the right leg. As you exhale, twist the torso. Look under your armpit. Hopefully you threw on some deodorant today. Come all the way back to center. Nice job. Walk the feet closer in together. Let's go ahead and add on here. As we inhale, right leg is going to reach to the sky. Little heat here. Don't be afraid. Activate the core. As you exhale, right knee makes connection with right elbow. Yes, you can hover and hold. Inhale, lengthen to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, cross the body, twist to look to the left, left elbow, right knee kiss. Inhale, lengthen to the sky. Exhale, knee to nose, round the spine, cat pose. Draw the belly in, activate that deep core muscles. Step it through. Nice job. This time, back leg is going to stay lifted as we inhale. settle in. Feel free to shorten the stance here if the heart's going a little too fast for you. Make sure knee is stacked over ankle. Reach your arms all the way up to the sky. Sink in here and breathe. Inhale, breath, lengthen. Exhale, once again, bend those elbows, press the head back, lean back. Now maybe you stay here, or maybe to go into deeper back bend, keep pressing through that left heel. And as you inhale, straighten the arms, pointer fingers release to the sky. Look up, bend yourself back a little bit more. Nice job. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Press that energy forward. If this is too much, drop back down to where we were before. Bow and arrow. Draw that right arm across the left, across the chest. Reach back. Embrace the heat. Embrace the shape. You're cleansing your body. You're doing great. Inhale, drop the right arm. Lift the left to the sky. Find your thigh. Use it for support, but not all your weight. Nice work. This time, we're going to cartwheel the arms, open up, warrior two. So, arriving in warrior two, if you are not there already, knee stacks ankle, front heel intersects with the back arch. Hands are at 3 and 9 on a clock, palms face straight down. Flip that front hand. Inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, take it back. Reverse warrior. Don't collapse your weight into your left hand. Find that stretch, just like we were in that seated position. Sink into that front knee a little bit more. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, cartwheel down. Step it back, plank pose. Option to vinyasa or take downward facing dog. Use this time right now to reconnect to your breath, to your body. Listen. Find out what it needs, and then give it to it. All right, down dog, we pedal it out. We take it to the next side. Inhale, left leg lifts up to the sky. Exhale, left elbow, left knee, hover, hold, kiss. Inhale, lengthen to the sky. Cross the body, left knee, right elbow. Can you turn and look? Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to nose, round the upper back, engage that core, feel the shake, feel the heat. Look at your hands, step it forward. Back leg stays up ideally. If you need to modify, take it back down to the ground. Press through that heel, inner thighs for support, core for strength. Come on up, high crescent lunge. Once you get there, you might show up here. On an exhale, can you sink and go a little bit deeper? Keep pressing through that back heel. Shoulders are square to the front of the room. Exhale, breath, bend the elbows. Inhale, lift up through the chest. Let the head fall back. Possibly interlace the fingers as you inhale. Lengthen out the arms. Think biceps by ears. Look up to the sky. Sink in. Yes, we can. Inhale, back to neutral. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, send that energy forward. Exhale, drive back. You're doing great, I promise. Reaching front to back, hold here. Try to straighten out that back leg by pressing through the heel. And then if you'd like, inhale, drop the back arm. Reach the top arm to the sky. Be mindful of that front knee. Try not to let it go on me. Nice job. This time we cartwheel open. Warrior two, open up. If you need to widen your stance, be honest with yourself. See if you can take it a little bit deeper. Front hand flips as you inhale, take it forward. As you exhale, fingertips reach overhead, knee reaches to the front of the mat. Open up. Careful not to drop into that right arm. Breathe. Press through the knife edge of your back foot, and then cartwheel it all the way back down into your high plank. Nice job. Vinyasa here, or take a break. Maybe you try keeping thighs lifted for the first time, still coming out of the shoulders, pressing up, expand, tuck the toes, take it up and back, catch, your breath. So if you can't tell, my heart rate is up too. Definitely have a little bead of sweat across the forehead. And sometimes this can kind of scare us. It can kind of make us think that there's something wrong, or we can't, or it's too hard. I promise you, those are lies that your mind is telling you. Your body is craving this movement. Anything that you're sweating out, you're pushing out, is anything that the body doesn't need and is not serving you. So embrace the heat, embrace the challenge, smile, and just do what works for you. We're gonna add on a little bit here. So inhale, right leg is gonna reach all the way up to the sky. Exhale, we get to just step it right forward this time. Back heel stays up. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Exhale, sink in. Inhale, open up, find your warrior two, sink back in. This time when we take reverse, we're gonna get to straighten that front leg. So straighten it out, and then slowly come into your reverse. Left hand comes down, right arm reaches to the sky. So now with this leg straight in the front, we don't have as much pressure or heat in the lower body, which should allow us to go even deeper into this side body stretch. Let that left arm kind of come all the way down left leg. Again, no pressure into the leg. Nice work. Now inhale, keep the legs where they're at, bring the hands overhead. Exhale, swim the handprints behind you, interlace your fingers. Back toe is going to be at kind of a 45. Right foot is obviously facing forward. As you inhale, press the knuckles down to the ground, lift up through your chest, look up to the sky. Open up the entire front side of your body. And now, as you exhale, humble warrior. Bend your front knee. Slowly bring the torso inside, ideally, to that right thigh. Now, you might not be able to go too far, or you might be able to lower the torso all the way into that right thigh. Wherever you are is beautiful and perfect. If you can come all the way down, think about then lifting your knuckles to the sky, straightening your arms all the way up. Rinse out your shoulders. Such a beautiful thing for anyone that does any lifting, push-ups. Get all that out of those shoulders. Get ready for another week of work. Release the arms on an inhale. Come forward off that back heel, crescent lunge. Yes, you can. Exhale, press the handprints behind you. Think airplane arms. They're gonna reach back, palms are gonna face down. You might stay right here. You might step that back foot up a little bit and start to shift the weight forward like you're a launching pad from your heel to the crown. Taking the majority of the weight into that right foot. Finding warrior three if it's in your practice today. Warrior three has a shift all the way forward, coming into that strong front leg, possibly lifting the back leg off the ground. Now, if that's not here today, come on to the big toe. Just start practicing getting strength into that single leg. Over time, we'll cultivate the strength, the ankle stability, the core strength to lift that back leg up, pointing the toe to the back of the room, actively reaching the fingerprints back. Slowly with control and trust, arms are gonna reach forward, back leg is gonna find the ground. Crescent lunge. Exhale, hands come to the ground. Fantastic work. Shake it out. Take your vinyasa here. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale with control. Inhale, reach the heart forward. Take it up and back. Downward facing dog. Let's do the other side, shall we? Right heel to the ground, left leg reaches up to the sky. Look to your handprints. Step the left foot forward. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, warrior two. Tailbone is tucked under. Shoulders stack your hips. A lot of times we see people leaning forward in warrior two. So I'm sure there's a couple of times we can all use the correction to come back, stack your shoulders over your hip points. Now we get to straighten that front leg. As we inhale, we drop the back arm, reach the left arm overhead, come a little bit deeper into your reverse side bend here. Reach fingertips overhead, come down that leg a little bit more. Now inhale, both hands overhead. Bring the fingertips behind you. Interlace the hands. Inhale, press the knuckles down. Open up your chest. Let the head drop back. Look at the sky. Exhale, bend the front knee. Lead with your heart. Let the length in the spine stay. Pull your hips back as your heart goes forward. Find the shape that works for you, coming into whatever depth serves you. If you do come into that left knee, do not let your upper body rest on that thigh. Tuck your chin into your chest. Think about looking back at your right foot. Reach the knuckles up, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Release the hands as you inhale, swivel off that back heel. Come up, crescent lunge. Exhale, swing the arms behind you. Start to shift the front weight. Step that back foot in just a little bit here. Catch your breath, catch your balance. Reach the fingertips back. Palms are open, facing the ground. Find what works for you. Last week we talked about having a drishti, or a focal point that we can set our vision on, especially in balanced postures. It's beneficial and a great tool to help us stay a little bit more steady. Find that focal point and then play around with slowly coming into that standing leg. Keep a soft bend in even though we're still activating. Point through the back toe. Draw your belly in. Your left leg is shaking. Mine is too. Your glute is probably talking to you. Don't grip through the toes in the left foot. Four corner awareness into the foot. Press into the earth. Lift up through the chest. Nice job, you guys. Inhale, reach forward. Trust the earth is behind you. Drop your toes. High lunge. Exhale, come on down. The hard work is done. Nice job. Shake it out here. Take one more vinyasa if it feels like it's calling you. Make it the best one you've done so far. Inhale, lift. Take it up and back. Enjoy this down dog here for just a moment. Nice job, you guys. Bring your heart rate back down with your breath. Very likely that brought it up just a little bit. And if it didn't, maybe, next week we take it up a notch and challenge ourselves to go a little deeper into some of those lunges. When you're ready, inhale, lift to the tops of your big toes. As you exhale, start to bend the knees, slowly bring them down to the ground. Untuck the feet, push back, take a much-deserved child's pose. Especially if you were playing around with any of those mini back bend variations, think about rounding your upper body over the legs. So earlier in class, we were coming a little bit more into our hips to get us ready to go into those deep warrior twos. Now we want the legs together to touch. So bring the knees together in, let your body round over, tuck your chin to your chest, walk your handprints to the top of the mat or as far as you can, but make sure you're not drawing the shoulders up to the ears, creating tension. Let the shoulders sink down and back while still trying to lengthen out through the arms, feeling a stretch in the shoulders, the side body, the spine, and also just taking a second here to catch your breath. When you feel ready, you're going to slowly come to sit onto your heels, stacking the vertebrae as always, waking it up one bit at a time. Taking a second to just let the energy resettle, let that snow globe resettle here. Now on an inhale, come to stand on your knees. Take your legs hip distance apart. So making sure you have two even train tracks, and then look behind you and make sure your shins and your feet are parallel. So they're not coming in, they're not going out. They're two parallel lines right behind you. We're gonna bring our hands to the low back, so not on the booty, not too high, right at the low spine. We've already played around with opening up this low back area. With back bends, there's a common misconception that it's all just sinking into your spine. The more important thing with back bends is thinking about going up to go back. So the first thing we're gonna do is think about lifting our chest up. As we inhale, lift your heart up to the sky. Draw the elbows and shoulders back. And then as you exhale, instead of just pushing your hips forward in space, think about dropping your head back. Press into the tops of your feet here, and you do not need to shift your hips forward. This is not a back bend. This is just sending our hips forward. So keep the hips in neutral position, go up, and then start to drop the upper back. Take your time to slowly come back up with your breath and have a seat back down on your heels. Okay, so take a moment. We're going to go back up into that again. We'll have a variation to drop our hands to our heels if that's in your practice. But really, I want you to kind of scale back. Even if you've been doing yoga for a long time, even if back bends are in your practice, let's get a little bit more detail-oriented on the foundation, and then we can build upon that. So as we inhale, we're going to lift back up onto our heels. Take a look back. Make sure our alignment is on point. Hands are going to come back to the spine. So again, we're framing the spine. I say the spine, I apologize. I don't obviously want anyone pressing into their actual spine. We're framing that low back area. As we inhale, we lengthen the heart up all the way to the sky. Feel all of this open. Your torso stretches out, your chest opens up, elbows and shoulders pull back here, embracing this incredible stretch from the shoulders. Now, exhale, start to look back. If it's in your practice to drop one hand to your heel, go ahead. Maybe you keep one hand on the spine, one finds one heel. Over time, you might find both heels, and then you can drop your head back. Again, notice how my hips have minimally moved. I'm not sending them straight forward. I'm trying to keep a straight line in my legs and my hips, and then just let the back do the rest. If you find you're taking yourself forward, revert back, start from basics. If you're still down there and you're like, just stop talking, slowly walk your hands back up to your spine. Use your breath and your core strength. Take it slow. Restack with control. Lower down to the ground. Nice job. I want you to scoot your legs out to the side. We're going to round out that spine. Now, if your back is still kind of like, what just happened? Go very slow here. I promise we're going to counteract what we just did, but movement might feel a little stiff after you do that. So really take it nice and slow. Excuse me. Bringing yourself down to your back. We're just going to take ourselves down there. If you want to boat down, go ahead. If not, just bring your elbows down to the mat. Slowly lower yourself down. Once you get your upper back to the ground, one knee at a time, draw it into the chest. Wrap the arms around the legs. Inhale, lift the upper body. Think about bringing your nose to kiss your knees. And round that spine round. So we've been playing with these spinal rocks. Let's go ahead and take it again. Hands are going to come behind our legs here. We're going to use our core for help, but I really want you just to think about massaging your spine. Take it as slowly as you can. Think about giving equal time to each vertebrae, lifting up through the chest a little bit when you get to the top. Now, if you can join me in Plow Pose, this would be the ultimate opposite pose, if you will, from our back bending, but it is one that I want you to, just like anything, come into with a lot of awareness, because we don't want to hurt our neck in any way, shape, or form. So to come into plow, your hands are going to find that same position from before, right by your low back. You're going to tuck your chin into your chest, and you're going to start to let gravity pull your legs over your head. This can seem scary, but really the majority of the weight is in your upper shoulders and your upper back, not your neck. If you're finding that you're into your neck too much, you probably have your legs reaching too far forward. You only need to get your toes to touch the ground here. Now, if you do have your toes touching the ground and you need to take it a little bit deeper, you can keep your legs about shoulder distance apart and start to bend the knees and sink your knees next to your ears. This will produce a deeper rounding or stretching in the spine,
and help the curvature of your spine kind of reset from all your back bends. Now, if you want to take shoulder stance, very important to use your hands on your upper or middle back for support. Maybe you start practicing with shoulder stance with only bringing one foot to the sky. Over time, you might find that you have the ability to bring both. If you come into this shape, I want you to think about trying to create a straight line with your spine and your legs. So you're pushing your hips a little forward, activating through your glutes, toes press up to the sky. And again, if this is way too much for you, my friends, please don't be discouraged. You can be right here getting the same benefits for your back. The only reason we're showing these other variations is to show you that through our practice, there's room to grow. If you took shoulder stance, you're going to slowly bring yourself back down to the mat with control, taking one vertebrae at a time. If you want to challenge your core, release your hands to the earth next to you, palms face down, and then we're going to lower the legs down with control. If at any point the low back starts to dome or lift off the ground, use your hands, bend the knees. If you want to try to challenge the core, activate it a little bit more, slowly lower the legs all the way down with no support. Nice job. Once you get all the way down to the mat, feel free to readjust yourself if need be. Walk the shoulder blades out just a little bit here. Engage that left leg by flexing the toes just like we've been doing all class. And inhale, draw the right leg in. Interlace the fingers about 2 inches below your right knee. And then as you exhale, begin to find wind releasing pose on the right. Settling back into your breath. Your body's nice and warmed up now, which means you might be able to take your stretches a little bit deeper. Obviously still working within that safety realm. But if you find that your thigh is touching your rib cage because you're able to really come into this, I recommend taking the leg out to the side just a little bit, and then think about drawing the knee towards that right shoulder to get a little bit more depth. Now, you've heard me say this before in class. When we come into this stretch here, instead of using your shoulders and your handprints and creating all this tension in the biceps to pull the leg in, start to use your fingertip grip. So when we want to start getting into crow pose or some of our other arm balances, it's really important to pay attention to the details of that grip strength. So if you think about rock climbers, or you see like these American Ninja Warriors that can hold on to like less than an inch of a shelf, that's what we want to start to activate. It's not a sexy, fancy muscle in our fingers, but having that attention to detail is what's going to advance your practice. So here, practice that grip. Use your fingerprints to pull the leg into the body as the prime mover, and then obviously the rest of your body is still going to activate and turn on with you. All right, so we'll release that back out. Left hand is going to come down, palm down, right foot, left foot, everything is still turned on. We're just going to start to open this right leg to the side. Again, if you've taken class with me, for whatever reason, this reminds me of the Captain Morgan pirate stance. So if that serves you to think about and get a chuckle, have at it. Make sure left shoulder is still staying on the ground, so we have the arm reaching out to the side to help keep that left side body grounded, left hip to the earth. Just really kind of coming in to this right hip. Now, if you have more need for the hip, stay here. If you need to get into your hamstring a little bit more, bring your hand underneath your knee, underneath your thigh. I don't have a ton of space to do in here, but I'll give it a go. Straighten that leg out. Flex the toes back to your face. You're going to start to feel the stretch in the underside of the leg. You can play around with lowering that leg to the ground so long as it doesn't lift the left side body. Nice work. If you did straighten it, bring a bend back into the knee. Left arm is going to come back into the picture. It's going to come to the outside of the right knee, and it's going to guide it into a supine twist. Right arm is going to reach out to the side to help anchor right shoulder to the ground, and you can turn your head to look past the right fingers as you gently use this left arm to push the right knee a little closer into the earth, coming in to a twist for your back.
heart rate has lowered back down to a more neutral, normal level. If it hasn't, bring your breath back in. Slowly come back through center and then extend that right leg out. Give yourself a second just to shake out both of the legs, let them go loose for a second. And once they feel good, we'll activate through that right foot. You'll maybe even feel your right heel lift off the ground when that kneecap lifts. On an inhale, we start to draw the right knee into the body. Left knee. If you cannot grab in front of the leg under the knee, feel free to come behind the leg, interlace the fingers and start to pull in, making adjustments for the posture to meet you. If you're super, super tight here in your hip flexors and you have a yoga strap, you can bring the yoga strap behind your leg and help pull in. If you don't have a yoga strap, you can grab a necktie, a robe tie, anything that you could use to help pull that leg in if grabbing the leg with our hands is not available today. There's no shame in the modification game, I promise you. We've all been there. It doesn't matter how advanced in your practice you are. Everyone has times in their life where maybe they revert back or their body just becomes a little bit of a tighter space to live in. It's not supposed to be discouraging, it just is. So we'll meet ourselves there and give ourselves a little grace. Now, as much as I want you to keep left foot on, if you need to kind of work out some ankle issues, find some ankle rolls here, feel free to shake off any of that gunk. And then when you're ready, we're going to slowly open out to the side, right arm will release. Left leg is still pulling it into the into the shoulder, and out at the same time. Kind of opening up this book, keep that right foot nice and active. Option to bring hand underneath the knee, kick the foot out to the side, possibly draw that leg to the earth. None of these are better or worse. And if you are dealing with any sciatic pain and or gastrointestinal issues, any bloating, stay in wind releasing pose. So obviously the name lends to one of the benefits of this posture. This is an amazing way to naturally activate your digestive system to kind of help with the contractions of our intestines, kind of help to let the body, once again, eliminate anything that's not serving us. But if your hip needs a little help, maybe you've been doing a lot of squats, a lot of leg day, maybe you just have some tension, some emotional stress built up, come into this. If you have some hamstring issues, then we're taking the leg out. Maybe you do a lot of running, a lot of walking, you need to come into that hamstring, take the leg out. Awesome, let's take that twist now. Right arm guides left knee, left arm reaches out. So remember, we're here with intention. The flow is designed to find the parts of your body that feel stuck, tight, stressed, and release it. That obviously is going to be different for every single person that shows up to this practice, and it will be different for that same person each time they show up. So I'm here to simply give you suggestions, but ultimately, yoga is about you uniting with your body. So if there's something that feels as though it will serve you better, I encourage you to safely explore that. And I hope that showing up on this mat together is giving you that courage to trust yourself a little bit more and listen to that intuitive body that you have to tell you exactly what you need to do and that you already know how to do it. All right, bring yourself all the way back through center, my friends. We'll take our left leg out long. Let's grab a full body stretch here. Biggest breath of your day so far. Let the inhale draw the arms overhead. Feel the inhale, fill your entire body, stretch from your toes to your fingers. Get as long as you possibly can. Roll the wrists, point, flex the feet. When you're ready, exhale to release. Surrender the arms alongside the body. Palms can face up. Chin can tuck slightly into the chest. Legs open as wide as the mat. Close your eyes. Corpse pose. You might feel the nervous system kind of still tingling a little bit here.
firing off all of these different signals throughout the body. As I've said before, again, this is when the body starts to reap the rewards of your practice. Immediately already rebuilding, rejuvenating, restoring, sending all that beautiful fresh oxygen to all the parts of your body. Doing such tremendous work internally to help you feel your best, to help support you with whatever the rest of your day brings, whatever the rest of your week brings. Taking a second here to just find gratitude to yourself for showing up, for taking this time to just be. So many times we live in the past, overanalyzing, overthinking every choice, every thought, every word, every action, or maybe stressing about what's to come, trying to figure it all out before it happens. I encourage you to find what brings you back to the now. Maybe it's listening to music, maybe it's yoga, maybe it's exercising, maybe it's being with your kids, your grandkids, having a conversation with a long dear friend. Whatever can bring you right here. That is the biggest cure, if you will, for any type of anxiety, depression. Because when we're right here, right now, in this moment, it's hard to be anything but grateful. Even if it's a difficult moment, even if it's a challenging time that you're in, you're still in it. You're still here. You're still in the game. And so long as you're in the game, you can still play. Feel free to stay in your Savasana as long as you need to today. Thank you so much for joining me, letting me guide you in the flow. From me to you, namaste.
Have a great day, all of you beautiful people. Sending you out much, much love.